The days are dwindling down until Episode 4 Act 3 arrives, as we're now less than 2 weeks away. With the arrival of the new act, we're also expecting the release of the new agent, codenamed Bounty Hunter, that's now leaked to be named Fade. And recently, Riot has been delivering us cryptic representations of Fade and the agents that were tasked to take her down in the lore. What's up, ProGuides fam? It's your host, Royal G, and today we're going to break down Fade's teasers that have been released on social media over the past few days, and we're going to go over everything we know about this new agent. And of course, if you're looking to get a leg up not only on Valorant news, but also the Valorant meta, make sure to visit ProGuides.com where our Radiant and Immortal level coaches are more than happy to help you reach the next level. Link is in the description, and let's get started. Over the course of the past month, Fade has had several social media teasers released leading up to her release. These teasers don't offer much in terms of insights on Fade's appearance or persona, but one central theme that follows each of these teasers is her ability to draw on the deepest fears of her enemies. On Twitter, a Valorant lore enthusiast, Simprel, has released several breakdowns on every teaser released so far. Before we continue, we have to give credit to Simprel on Twitter for high quality insight on each agent and their backstory. And also credit to Valor Leaks on Twitter for leaking information on this new agent. Make sure to visit them if you're interested in even more in-depth coverage of lore and leaks respectively. Starting off with the first teaser release, which was CYPHERS teaser, we can see a Cypher surrounded by what seems like TVs and cameras as he's tied down to a chair helpless. There are multiple cameras surrounding him that are watching him as he sits there uneasily as all eyes are on him. Not much is agreed upon on the meaning of this teaser according to Simprel and the community, but looking at CYPHERS teaser even further, it seems like there's more to just the fear of being watched, because that wouldn't explain why Cypher is tied to a chair. From what we know about Cypher, he's sort of like a secret spy that keeps tabs on the world from the back and takes care of business from the shadows. But this doesn't only include surveillance, but also assumedly torture, as he's tasked with interrogating enemies as well. It's possible that more than just being watched, which is probably something Cypher would already be scared of, Cypher fears being caught and subject to the same interrogation methods that he subjects others to as his secrets are all revealed. Heading into Breach's teaser next, we can see Breach locked up and desperately trying to break the bars. This makes sense considering Breach used to be a criminal, but there's also more backstory to this. In the past, the Torsten family, which Breach is a part of, was imprisoned for criminal activities, except for Breach. The reason he was let go was due to the pity by the judge for his disabilities. But his freedom only stirred up deep insecurities from Breach, which were feelings of uselessness and being unwanted, which led to his continued criminal activity. Maybe the teaser of him helplessly wrestling against a jail cell is ironically representing how the fact that he wasn't convicted like the rest of his family made him feel even more like he was the only one truly punished. Another way to interpret this is that now that he's done his fair share of crimes so that the world recognizes his existence as a criminal of the Torsten family, he's actually fearing that he'll end up being caught and locked away, and he'll be unable to help his new family in Valorant and the people he holds dear when it matters the most. Heading into Neon's teaser, there's not too much that the community fully agrees on what this teaser means, but some parts seem very apparent. It seems like Neon is being chained by Fade's mist/gas and is being overwhelmed by her lightning form. It seems as if Neon's worst fear is not being able to control her powers and losing herself and her identity because of it. This opens up some doors for how her lore is, because she might have hurt people close to her in the past or have done something she regrets due to losing control. And assuming she's much more powerful than her younger self who made that mistake, the consequences of losing control again could be irredeemable. Unfortunately, I don't think there's much more that can be read from this teaser, but feel free to let me know your theories in the comments. Moving into KAYO's teaser, we can see a colossal KAYO holding in both of his hands a fallen brimstone, which is assumed to be one of KAYO's closest comrades. A little bit of backstory on KAYO. KAYO comes from another future where the Radiants waged war against Earth. Even though KAYO won in this Radiant war, the losses were probably catastrophic. Additionally, it seems like KAYO could have been Brimstone's closest friend, even during childhood. In the basement of the firing range, you can see pictures of Brimstone and a friend who he grew up with playing baseball as kids, working together as firefighters, and eventually becoming fellow soldiers. Either way, KAYO's greatest fears seem to draw back to his memories of the alternate world's Radiant War, and that is losing his closest friend Brimstone. The next teaser we see is Chambers sitting on a rock while the other agents look down on him. From first look, it seems like Chambers' greatest fear is to be looked down upon by the people around him. Maybe he has too much pride, or perhaps he has an image to uphold. But once you know more about his lore, then it starts to take on a different tone. Of course, Chambers seems like the type of agent to have a lot of pride, but based on Simprel's tweet, it seems like Chambers is suspected of having ulterior motives. After all, he's the one who blew up the laboratory that resulted in the fracture map looking the way it does. But apparently, Chambers won't tell his teammates why he did it, nor will he tell them about his plans. You can also see that in Chambers' teaser, it seems like he's working alongside his mirror world self, which seems to also point out the possibility that he's colluding with the enemies. If his teammates were to find out, how will he explain? And is he good or evil? Maybe Chambers' greatest fear is being misunderstood for his intentions and losing the trust and respect from his fellow agents. Heading into what we believe is the final teaser, we have SOVA. The reason this might be the final teaser is because in the training range, you can see how this bulletin board shows the 6 respective agents that we've seen in the teasers so far. In this teaser, it seems like SOVA is covering his right eye as tears and shadows pour out from it. From the look of it, it's clear that SOVA's deepest fear is related to this eye, but which one? Some people originally thought that this teaser represented SOVA's fear of losing his sight, but when checking in-game, it's apparent that his right eye is actually his cybernetic eye, which is the one SOVA lost many years ago in an incident. This is where his backstory is important, as it's clear that there's more to the incident than just him losing his eye. In this dossier of SOVA, you can see that SOVA prides himself on his accuracy, and that people know him as someone who has never missed a shot. But it seems like the incident which led to SOVA losing his eye was a situation where he did exactly that, which is to miss his shot. Maybe his greatest fear is that if he ever misses again, then everything he knows about himself is a lie, and that the consequences this time could cause the death of his friends and comrades. From the looks of it, all of this stems from an operation called the Istanbul Operation, where Cypher, Breach, Neon, KAYO, Chamber, and SOVA were tasked with capturing Fade after she started blackmailing the Valorant protocol. But as you guys can see, each agent's deepest fears were revealed, and you can also hear a voice recording in the basement where Phoenix and Raze drop out of the operation due to how weirded out they were. And based on what we've seen so far, this gives us a lot of information on what Fade as an agent is capable of, and I'm more hyped for when more news about this agent releases. As a quick note, Fade is a Turkish female agent, and she will be an initiator focused on information sort of like how SOVA functions. Her abilities were also leaked recently, and we made a video about that as well, so if you're interested, make sure to check that out. Anyways, that about wraps up what we know so far about Fade, and also our breakdown on the Fade teasers Valorant Twitter has been releasing. If you enjoyed this, make sure to drop a like and consider subscribing if you don't want Fade to reveal your deepest fears as well. Just kidding. It's been Royal G, and I'll see you guys next time.